What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another Comically Boston. Today is episode 46. It is Thursday, March 23rd, 2023. Last night we had a bunch of new episodes of television. We're going to get into that. Bad Batch, Mandalorian Chapter 20, Episode 2 of Season 3 of Ted Lasso. So we're going to get into that, but if you guys have been here before, my name's Big Cam, and we talk sports in the Boston Celtics first, so that's what we're going to do. On Tuesday night, the Celtics faced the Kings. They beat them 132-109. We improved to 50-23. We get our 50 wins on the season, getting back in the W column, what we like to see. Finishing our road trip strong. Jason Tatum had 36 points, 8 rebounds. Jaylen Brown had 27. Derek White had 27 rebounds, 11 assists. Smart had 17 and 7 assists. Al Horford had 11. Rob Williams came off the bench. He came back. That's good to see. Derek White, JB, and JT all with 20-plus points. Love to see that. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum have been killing it. Love to see them two working together. Most games with 25 points each. Duos in Celtics history, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, have done that 66 times, scoring 25 points each. Best duo ever. Best Celtics duo, seems like it. Considering that the other people that are duos for the Celtics, and the Celtics have had a lot of great players for a lot of years, John Havlicek and JoJo White scored 25 points each 65 times, and Larry Bird and Kevin McHale scored 25 points each 64 times. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are much younger and scoring and just athletic monsters on the court. Love to see them playing well. Their next game is home Friday night against the Pacers, 7 p.m. Stay tuned for that. I know I will be. And that's it for sports. Let's get into some more news. Some news came out that Better Call Saul's final season will be released to Netflix April 18th. A report came out that Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is going to get another sequel. I don't know if it will be Sam Raimi. They said sequel, but I mean, wouldn't that be the trilogy? Because it would be the third movie. But maybe they were talking it's getting another movie based on the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness stuff. Which, you know, could be up in the air. We don't really know, considering how long it took to make the second one from the first one, and how different the first one is from the second one. And everyone, you know, when the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness came out, everyone expected just crazy crossovers and multiverse stuff, and everyone is expecting Endgame level stuff. And what we got was fantastic, but it was a Sam Raimi film, and it just, there was too much fan expectation. And I think a lot of people have been downhill on the Marvel stuff since then, but if you're a fan like me, I've been loving it. So I can't wait to get another Marvel show on Disney Plus or a movie to come out. I really hope I don't have to wait till May just to get the Guardians movie, and we're going to get 2 movies in the year of 2023 before we get any Disney Plus shows. Man, crazy. But some more Daredevil leaks have been coming out, and I don't know if the leaks are just set photos and stuff like that, but Charlie Cox looking great in his red jacket. I don't know if it's just a little weird that he's holding a phone and a walking stick, but not using the walking stick. I get it, he's blind in the show, but like, it's just funny to see a blind man walking the streets of New York City texting. It's like, like, oh man, there's probably people out there that are like, they should have got a real blind guy to play the role. I'm like, oh yeah, because real blind people are Daredevil, and they fight in the streets at night, and they use their hypersonic hearing. What had the internet reacting to Daredevil was this picture released of Charlie Cox on set, and he is using the walking stick, but there's this sign in the back room, Christian Paris for spiritual renewal. And if I took another picture, zoomed in on it, and it seems to say March 15th, 2020 up at the top. Sunday school, 9:30 a.m. Monday morning worship, 11 a.m. March 15th, 2020, if that's when the show's set, that would put it in between the blip, right? In between Infinity War and Endgame. So maybe they're trying to retcon some stuff. But I'm super interested in how that show's going to go. 18 episodes seems a little hefty. Maybe that will get cut back, but maybe that will get pushed into multiple seasons. I don't know, but I'm here for it. I loved the Daredevil on Netflix, and now that's on Disney+. So check that out if you haven't. It's just a darker take on the character, which I loved. I thought it was very interesting, and it is what it is, you know. First look at Titan's costume, right, for the new Robin. They released a bunch of pictures for the final episodes of Titans are coming out, and they released all the pictures of the outfits. This was the only one I really saw that I was like, I don't know, I like it, but I don't know if I like it. You know, I think it looks good, and it's a good superhero suit, but I don't know if I like him as Robin, you know, like, just kind of, I don't know. Maybe he'll be alright. But he's the third Robin. You know, we've gotten Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, and now it's him, so I don't know. It just, that show is, I didn't really like season 3. It was okay, and I don't know. It just wasn't that great a show to me. And now that it's ending, and I know that it's not getting anything more, I don't know, just let it end. Forget about Titans. But I don't know. Comment below. Are you interested in Titans? Let me know. Another show that came out last Sunday is Power, Book 2, Ghost. And that show's first episode was interesting. It just set up all this season stuff. But spoilers for the show if you haven't seen it. Last season he kills, or not the main character Tariq, but I think his girlfriend and his best friend kill his other girl, his side girl, because she was wearing a wire and she was like working with police and shit. But I don't think she really wanted to be working with police, but she's just a dumb girl that was in young college like girl, and she thought she was getting in trouble for weed or something, and she's trying to get herself out of it, but she's ended up fucking over Tariq more. But she's like, why do I have to be here? So she's alive. The cops got her. The cops have her alive. So I thought Effie would have killed her for sure. But I don't know. Lauren's alive, so I don't. They have to explain that. I thought for sure she was dead, but Lauren's alive, so that will be exploring more Sunday. So stay tuned for more Power Book 2, Episode 2 of Season 3, I believe. That show is getting confusing with the titles. Power Book 3, Kanan, Power Book 4, Force, Season 2. You know, like, so they all have different seasons, but they're all a book, like, they should have just called it Ghost Force, you know, but it is Power, so it's still the same. It's just crazy. So Monday morning, maybe we'll be talking about Power Book 2 if I'm wowed by that. But we're going to get into The Mandalorian in 1 second, but we'll talk Ted Lasso and Bad Batch real quick. Why not? Ted Lasso this week, Episode 2, was hilarious to me. They got Zava. Yeah, Zava, Danny Rojas, football is life, Danny Rojas, you know, like, Danny Rojas scores with his face. He was all excited to do that. He was like, oh, I scored, my face scored a goal. Do you think Zava, don't be a dickhead, man. You know, like, there was certain parts of this episode that just made me die. There was a lot of F-bombs, a lot of oys. Oi! If anyone talks to this fucking prick, they're gonna get headbutted from me through the back of their skull. Like, everyone's like quiet around Trent Krim. Trent Krim's like, okay, whatever. And fucking Roy Kent's a dickhead. And no, Roy's just going through a breakup, so he's hurting. But Roy's gonna come around. Don't you worry. I do think him and Keeley should be together, but Richmond gets Zava, so that should be interesting next week to see Zava incorporate himself with the team. They do say he is nuts, but he is a hell of a scorer, so it would be interesting to see what he does with the Ted Lasso crew. But moving on to Bad Batch. Bad Batch, I think, had episode 14 called Tipping Point, and it was following Crosshair, which is my favorite member of the Bad Batch. He's just so badass, like a clone that has just expert marksmanship. Like, we're so used to seeing clone troopers, and not clone troopers, but we're so used to seeing stormtroopers with terrible aim, and it's like, oh, why are they always so bad? And it's just nice to see a clone trooper run in and just pew 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 pew, you know, like hit every shot. Even when he was like poisoned and he was weak, he like missed a couple shots, and it was like, oh, we've never seen him miss shots before. So it's like, that's how you knew he was really hurt and he's been taking damage. But he still outsmarts, 1v4, 1v5. He's all set. You know, shoot the water pipe. Steam comes out. They're all distracted. Pew pew pew. You got the other 4. You know, like he's just a beast. But Crosshair's being tortured. The Empire's after Omega and the Bad Batch, but they really want just her. Echo, that had left the team earlier in the year, came back and meets up with them. I think we're heading towards maybe 1 or 2 final episodes of the Bad Batch, but that show seems like it's been going on forever too. 14 weeks, if I'm doing the numbers right. If they release 1 a week, I think they have too. But animated show, and they've really, Disney is putting a masterclass on how good they can make an animated show look. And the story's still phenomenal, but like the CGI, like the animation is so fucking good. It looks phenomenal. Like, and you just feel for the characters because Crosshair's just, he was bad, then he was good, then he was good, then he was bad, and then he was good for a second, then he's bad again, and now he's like good maybe. I don't know. I think the Bad Batch will try and rescue, right? Because so he was trying to warn the Bad Batch not to the Empire's looking for Echo, and the last time he sent out a message, they thought he was looking for them, but it was a trap, and he was trying to hunt them down. They escaped from him, but I don't know if they'll show up to this facility to try and break out Crosshair and then end up getting caught themselves. I feel like that could be something that happens, but I don't know. Let's hope not. But let's jump into The Mandalorian. So we are jumping into Season 3, Episode 4 of The Mandalorian. Every Wednesday, The Mandalorian's coming out. This is Chapter 20, The Foundling. Obviously, the Foundling referring to the Foundlings like Din Djarin was a Foundling. The Jimmy Kimmel's nephew, he's a Foundling, I think. Maybe, not really. He might just be a young child of the cult, the cultist group. I don't know if they call themselves the Watch or if they're just the Mandalorian cult, but they do seem like a cult, but they also seem like they have pretty good values, so it doesn't seem like too bad of people. But who knows? We'll see what their true intentions are. This episode's a good one, man. It's, shorter. It's like 30-minute episode, but it still has a lot of great stuff going on. Oh, real quick. Earlier I was talking about the Daredevil stuff. Daredevil had some leaked pictures. Doctor Strange is moving forward with his movie, potentially. That might be a rumor, that might be reports, who knows. But this is another picture from Captain America 4, New World Order. That's filming, and Sam Wilson's wearing a sweater. I don't know who this weird guy is peeking over his left shoulder, looking out at him. Maybe he's not supposed to be there, but they're filming in Atlanta, so Captain America 4 is on its way too. That's exciting stuff. But back to The Mandalorian. So The Mandalorian starts out, and you got young Grogu, and he's sitting there like all training on the beach, which is funny. The couple of them are shooting into the water for no reason, which isn't even target practice. They're just wasting time. Grogu's sitting on the beach, and he's looking at these rock things that are all around him, and these rock things are actually like little hermit crabs. But I think Mando comes over. He's like, stop playing with the rocks. He picks them up like a little dad that he is. I mean, love Daddy Mando. These two are just like a family, like they're just a clan of two, if you would. But so as they're sitting there, they have a little fight, because Grogu needs to start his training, and his dad is tough on him, and it's kind of cute because Bo-Katan looks at Grogu, and she's like, listen, your dad is just very proud of you. My father was like that too. It's okay. Like, you'll be okay. And then Jimmy Kimmel's nephew proceeds to shoot 2 paintballs at little Grogu's chest, and he eats both shots. He's like, why? I'm getting shot. And the like little darts on their hands. And Mando looks at him and goes, hey, I know what you can do. Show him. So then Grogu jumps over him, does a backflip over him, shoots him 3 times in the chest, like does little Jedi stuff. And he's learning. He's becoming a Mandalorian. Only if we can get him his Mando suit. Oh my god, it might be the cutest fucking picture I've ever seen in my life. Little baby Grogu with armor, oh, it's the cutest fucking picture. I know I got it here somewhere. There it is. Right? So if this is where the future of the Mandalorian show is heading, to little baby Grogu dressed up like his father, I would fucking die. I hope this is where it's heading. Grogu dressed up as a Mandalorian. Oh, I would fucking die. And then he becomes like the new Paz Vizsla. He wields the Darksaber somehow, some way. Grogu starts talking. This show, if they start to give us what we really want, which Jon Favreau just might, he's a beast. But yeah, so the kid was talking shit to Grogu and was like, he's too small, he's too little, me. And Grogu showed him. So one does not talk if he does not know. So kid learns his lesson. But the kid walks away in defeat, and he gets picked up by some dragon, pterodactyl-looking motherfucker, and just picks him up and takes him off, like, and just starts flying away. And then the Mandos all, with their jetpacks, take off after the dragon, which the whole time I was like, they're just gonna take off after this dragon? Well, how much fuel do they got in their jetpacks? And for once, a show kind of deals with logic and goes, all right, this thing's flying away by wing power. We have jetpacks that runs on fuel. They're gonna run out of fuel. So they run out of fuel. The dragon keeps going, and you get this great shot of the dragon, or whatever you want to call it, pterodactyl bird fucking thing. I think they called them raptors, which means bird of prey. Jurassic Park 1. But you get this great shot, which is kind of like Apocalypse Now, where they're flying into the sunset, and you get Bo-Katan and her ship chasing after the guy, and she can't necessarily shoot the dragon down, but she can follow it back to her nest, which is exactly what they do, plot the way. And then she comes back and she's like, I found out where they go, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, we can't just fly up. And she's like, well, land at the base, scale the mountain, and then get them back. And they know that the kid would have been eaten it by the ships because it's happened before. This dragon has taken, or raptor, or whatever you want to call it, has taken children before. So they throw that in a little bit later. But first you're like, just fly up there, shoot the fucking thing, who cares? But we find out some key information here, right? So they take off and Grogu stays with the armor, and the armorer makes Grogu some new armor. Or he gets his second piece of armor, because he's got the chainmail, so now he's getting his like first, you know, like they get the helmet, they get like patches, they get the chest plate, they get the shoulder pieces. So he gets his first piece of armor. And she has to make him a custom little piece, because obviously he's not shaped like the rest of the Mandalorians. He's a little thing. So he gets a piece of armor, and he is now a part of the Mandalorian Mudhorn clan of 2. And he gets this circular disc here on the front, and it's engraved with the Mudhorn like his father on his right shoulder there. So yeah, and Grogu's just the cutest fucking thing ever. You know, you see him and you're like, oh, baby Grogu. But yeah, so the armorer, you know, tells him about his piece of armor, then it places it on his chest, and he's like, ah, I did it, like I'm baby, you know, like I'm Mando baby. But then as she's making him that shit, and the floor just bang, 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 and we get a flashback to the little baby, younger Grogu, prequel Grogu, if you will. This is set between probably movie episode 3 and episode 4. Probably episode 3, set during episode 3 when Anakin takes over the Jedi Temple, but it's just wild. And you cut back and you see little baby Grogu in a little pod, and there's Jedis trying to get him out of there, but there's clones shooting everybody, and Order 66 in the place. Everyone was wondering who saved Grogu this whole time, and who was it? Jedi Master Kelleran, which is played by Ahmed Best. Or Ahmed Beck, I'm not sure if I'm messing that up, but Ahmed here played Jar Jar Binks in the prequels, and people hated Jar Jar Binks because all of a sudden it goes from the Jedi are in charge to Palpatine's ruling, and now the Empire's a thing because of Jar Jar. And people took it way too seriously, and this dude got like death threats and tons of shit. So I'm so glad Disney and Star Wars redeemed this man. You know, like, this man had nothing to do really with Jar Jar. He was just an actor playing a role. But either way, people are so upset about a movie about space wizards with light swords that could cut things in half, and they're fucking this guy that's CGI characters, and they're giving this guy death threats just because he played the role. Like, come on, people, you're taking life way too seriously. But this poor guy had to like go to therapy and shit for this stuff. Like, So I'm so much happier that he's a Jedi and he's the one that saved baby Grogu. And it's just so nice to see him, right? He's pulling away, he's on a speeder and he's dodging bullets, and they get hit, and one of the engines goes out in his little pod racer thing. You got Grogu in the little side hack. He's like, ah! At one point he covers up and he's like, you'll be alright, we'll get you out of here. Like, and you're like comforted by this man. You're like, oh man, maybe we are pretty safe. It's just funny as heck, like, how this guy went from Jar Jar and now he's a Jedi and he's the guy that saved Baby Yoda. Like, I love how nice that is. In the flashback, we see the Jedi Temple burning, and you know, we see them making their escape, and then all of a sudden he goes to a landing pad. He crash landed, but Grogu's in the pod, so he's safe. Ahmed flies off of it, that he has to go check, he's fine, and then another ship lands and clone troops start attacking. They huddle into the Naboo starfighter ship, which could have been the same ship that was Padme's ship, or it could just be what they used to shuttle around prudential candidates and people like that, high up in the government type people that are flying around in these chrome ships. But either way, he escapes in a chrome ship, goes off somewhere, and then we cut back to him getting his armor from the armorer. So then after he gets his armor, they cut back to Mando trying to save Kimmel's nephew. They climb the side of the mountain, and then Paz confirms that it is his son, just like we were speculating from episode 1. Paz, right, so Mando goes, I see a heat signature. Paz goes, it's my son, and he runs in instead of them clearing out the place and making sure there's no danger first. He runs in too quick, so you know there's going to be danger. The dragon raptor, whatever, hops up, spits out the son, and it kind of looks terrible. He comes out from the inside of this, like, as far as the CGI on the raptor itself, and certain things in this episode looked great, but there were certain things in this episode that looked like they got a little bit rushed and didn't have enough time, and or people were just like, fuck it, like, who cares? But the raptor thing spits up the kid, and he's dry. You know, he's got no, you know, unless this dragon thing has complete cotton mouth, like, it's just bleh, and he's just there, like, he's not covered in saliva or the guts, or, you know, like, whatever's on the inside of that thing. Like, he would have had something, right? It wouldn't just be completely dry. But either way, the dragon thing spits him up. Bo tries to get him off, you know, gets hit off by the dragon. He hits down by the wings. She gets fucking tossed. She loses a couple pieces of armor, and Bo-Katan is a badass. So, like, to see her, like, getting hit and taking damage, she's taking real damage, but she's also, you know, she's fought in a lot of battles, so she's a stud. You know, if you've watched Clone Wars, any of the animated shows, she's a beast. So she led this whole hunting party. Right before this whole thing, they took, like, a little moment to, like, camp the night, which I'm like, Paz, you're willing to camp the night, but your son might be dying up there? Like, he's a Mandalorian, he'll be okay. You know, like, yeah, okay. But either way, Bo is the leader of the hunting party, so everyone gets food, and she's like, how, you know, so she's really taking in the Mandalorian way. She leans over to him, and she's like, how do you eat food with everyone around? And he goes, you get your food, everyone goes and finds a private spot to take off their helmet to eat, and she gets to stay by the fire because she gets the honor to do that because she was leading the hunting party, which is nice of everyone else because she's the newest person too, so it's like, yeah, you get to lead because you're leading right now and you're a beast, so thank you for leading this group and having the plan and the mission. Like, she was the one that was like, I followed it and we're gonna go. So they end up, the dragon grabs the kid by the foot, Paz by the mouth. Paz gets the kid out of his mouth by putting Paz in the mouth. So Paz is not their best idea, but it is what it is. So then Bo, you know, either stabs in the eye or, like, right in the head, and the dragon drops Paz and drops the kid. Or actually, no, he's still holding on to the kid. Mando stabs the dragon in the foot that drops the kid. Mando juts packs after the kid, catches him like a football catch. The dragon falls into the water, and there's always a bigger fish.
There's always a bigger fish.
Fucking dragon comes up, the big snapping turtle thing from episode 1 that's kind of like a mythosaur. They kind of did the same thing from the mythosaur movie where, like, a pterodactyl's flying away and the mythosaur comes up and grabs it. that kind of thing, but it was still in the water. So it landed and it's like flapping in the water. And it's like all, and you see the dragon actually looks great in this one moment because he's like, the texture and the color of his skin changes because now it's all wet, and it looks great for a quick second, and then it gets eaten by that alligator snapping turtle thing from episode 1, and it reminds you quickly that there is always a bigger fish.
There's always a bigger fish.
And then, right, so Bo comes back, she talks to the armorer, she's out of armor, so the armorer is like, yes, we'll make you some new armor. I might not be able to give you the colorful blue one, but would you like me to put Death Watch on your thing again? She's got one Death Watch over here already, because that's what she was. And she goes, can I get a mythosaur? And she goes, the mythosaur is for all Mandalorians, so it is always acceptable. I love the way the armorer talks. Like, she's just so proper, and she's just like she knows what everything's going on, but even when she finds out new information, she's not shocked by it. Like, so Bo starts to tell her, she's like, what if I told you I saw one? She's like, saw what? A mythosaur. And she goes, well, it would be a great vision. You know, like she was saying, like, you were probably dreaming. And she goes, but it was real. And without even a beat, and you could kind of even tell that the armor was smiling underneath the helmet. She's like, this is the way. You know, like, so then you're left with Bo-Katan struggling. Is this something real that I saw? Am I becoming the Mandalorian person that the Mandalorian culture needs? Like the songs of eons past and stuff like that? Or is she gonna go back to her old ways where she takes off her helmet and does whatever the fuck she wants because she's not a part of this cult? But right now, she's buying in. She's a part of this cult. She gets some new armor with their new signet. Like armor. Oh yeah, baby. This season's getting good. Grogu's getting armor. Bo-Katan's getting armor. Fucking Mando's saving children. Raptor dragon things are getting eaten by snapping turtles. And I actually like that they went, we got 3 more foundlings, by the way, and they brought back the 3 baby raptors because their mama just got eaten by a fucking alligator snapping turtle. So the 3 baby raptors now are going to be trained by the Mandalorians as, you know, like, what's his name said, your ancestors rode the great mythosaur. You know, and so if at one point the Mandalorians were riding mythosaurs, we know Boba Fett is riding a Rancor, so we know that the Mandalorians can train and ride these ginormous creatures. So I think we're going to be seeing some Mandalorians riding raptors. You know, we're going to be having these baby raptors who will get trained by this group, and they're going to be riding them, and they'll be like a part of the family, which is hilarious. And I think we're going to be heading towards the end of the season where we're going to have Mandalorians on raptor back and creatures, and they're going to be riding into the sunset, and then we're going to have either Bo-Katan or Grogu or Mando or all 3 riding a mythosaur, because I think what's-her-name is going to go back to that mythosaur pit, the living waters, and find that big-ass motherfucker. And I honestly can't wait to see what that thing looks like out of the water. Like, just, it looked ginormous, like a size of Godzilla in the water in that second episode. So I just want to see it again. Like, oh, it was so cool. But 4 episodes left of The Mandalorian. What do you think? Comment below. Have you been liking this season? Did you like this episode? Was it too short? Did you want it to be a little bit longer? I think it was alright. It was pretty good. But stay tuned. We'll be talking more Mandalorian next week. We'll be talking about Power on Monday. We got some movies we're going to be going to watch. I got John Wick coming out tonight. So I'm going to try and go see that. I got to see Creed 3. Maybe got to see Shazam. That's getting pretty bad reviews, but what are you going to do, you know? You know, like, you can't really blame them for getting bad reviews when people might not be buying into that, because some people might be like, hey, we got, you know, this whole restarted, rebooted DC universe with James Gunn coming. You know, when you got so much stuff coming out that they can kind of just go, hey, what else you got? You know, like, I'm going to wait till something else more appealing. When back in the day something came out, it was like, oh my god, something hasn't come out in 4 or 5 months. I gotta go see it. I gotta. You know, like, nowadays there's so much shit that comes out, it's just like, what else you got? So, kind of sucks that it's not getting as much love as it should. And I haven't really seen that many people talking about Mandalorian. I've seen, you know, my people that I follow, but I'm curious, comment below. Have you been enjoying The Mandalorian this year, or have you not really been enjoying it? Maybe you didn't enjoy Boba Fett. Maybe that has something to do with it. People might be confused. Why is Grogu back with Mando? And if you didn't watch Boba Fett, you didn't get that whole episodes that give you the understanding on how he ended up back with Mando, which doesn't really make sense anyways. Like, he should have trained to be a Jedi and got Jedi training and then maybe made his way back to Mando. Like, but I don't know, it just felt like he went back to Mando really, really soon. And I don't know, there's been big stuff with Marvel and the Disney people over there, with Victoria Alonso getting fired or leaving or whatever, and just big drama behind the scenes. But comment below if you know anything more about that. If there's anything you can do to help me make these videos better, comment below. I appreciate all of you that watch. And I'll see all of you in the next video. Please stay tuned. Be safe, be well. Like this video, hit that subscribe button if you're new. Hit that bell if you don't want to miss future videos. I'm Big Cam. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.